Welcome again to Airsoft World, and this time we're going to look at a rather unusual weapon. Very unusual. Unusual on two counts actually. One, it's strange, and two, I actually have to get the manual out to tell you what the manufacturer thinks it is. We're talking about the Magpul FPG, folding pocket gun. Now, before we start playing with it, the manufacturer describes it thus. It is a rapidly deployable, ultra-concealable personal defence weapon. They also kindly and accurately admit that it is very much a conceptual weapon, in the sense that it's in development. Whether we'll actually see these or not, I don't know. Open the box and you'll be able to see here that the box is not particularly large, the advantage of the thing folding up clearly, and this is what you'll be presented with. A very small briefcase, a hard plastic purse, slightly oversized VHS video cassette with a handle. In itself, a little odd, but it does one thing, and it does one thing very, very well. We'll come to the other things it does in a little bit. Basically, do that. Yep, you've gone from plastic fantastic to submachine gun in one fell swoop. And if this thing has a single attraction, let's admit it, it's that. It's the ultimate Swiss Army knife as far as airsoft guns are concerned. Essentially what you have here is the guts of a KWA Glock 18 enclosed in a nylon fibre shell, which is capable of being folded up for transportation and concealment. Now, practicality of that on the airsoft skirmish field has got all of us here at Airsoft World scratching our heads. We think they're likely to be played with more in the safe zone and at home than they will be used on the field. How it performs as a gun we'll come back to briefly, but let's just have another look at what we've got here. It's actually remarkably simple for something which has more hinges than your average house. Magazine, 50 round magazine, slightly different to the Glock extended magazines, although fundamentally the gun is a Glock. Polymer case, which allows it to be hinged in a number of ways. Basically, collapse that. Can't find the catch, always embarrassing. Collapse that, and then you collapse that. Reassembled it. Clearly you can do that with the magazine in place, although when you do, the magazine has to be pushed through the pistol grip in order to sit properly. It comes with a charging handle. We've actually moved this one onto the right hand side. They tend to come with a charging handle on the left hand side. Because I'm right handed and I hold the gun like that, I wanted it there. Charging handle simply picks up on the rear sight on the gun and knocks it back. One of the advantages of that design though, and the folding design, is the fact that you can knock the stock out the way, and by using the charging handle you can push the slide back and reveal the fire selector. There are kits out there that will build something that looks very similar, but in actual fact changing from semi-auto to full auto on them is damn near impossible. Manufacturer hasn't made it possible to do that easily. One of the big strengths of the FPG is because it's the original and because they have mirrored the original concept work on it, it does actually function remarkably well. We've described this as having a KWA Glock 18C inside it. The truth of the matter is, it may have the guts of the 18C inside it, and it does. Same NS2 gas system. The slide is essentially a Glock slide. The barrel is about half as long again as a normal Glock barrel, and the fire selector is literally a shadow of its former self. It's very, very slimline, so that it can be accommodated within the plastics. It doesn't take a genius to recognise that the grip is proprietary Magpul. That's been slimmed down. It's much narrower than the standard Glock. The trigger guard is articulated so it can be folded. Clearly it's acquired a small foregrip. So while mechanically it is similar to the Glock, it is not, strictly speaking, a Glock 18C. Functionally, however, it is. The magazines, as I said again, not identical, but functionally very similar. Just release the lockdown to fill it. Usual thing. Pull down the catch, pull off the base plate, your filler valve's there. Because I don't want particularly to shoot the poor Andy behind the camera there, we're running this empty, so we're locking the follower down. Now, I've got the gun set on full auto because, frankly, I'm sure you could use it on semi-auto, but it's just not as much fun. Nice rate of fire, and like the MP9s from KWA recently, these are, I have to say, pretty much converted me to the idea of gas submachine guns. I was always very vocally cynical about it. Nice. Nicer. By this point, you're reaching for your credit card, trust me. They're that nice. What are you going to do with it? You're probably going to spend far too much time folding it up and then unfolding it to impress your friends. Because interesting though the idea is from a purely conceptual point of view, it's difficult to see how this translates practically onto the skirmish field. I've had a couple of inquiries already from people looking for a pouch that will hold it. I've had a couple of snipers saying, oh, that would be perfect. And it would, certainly in terms of ease of carry, it's definitely smooth. It's not going to snag on anything, it works well. Ignore the phone, we're going to. Carry handle comes off very simply, there's no tools required, it's a simple spring lock on it. Standard 1913 A Picatinny rail, so again you could fit any sight you want onto it. How concealed your hardback book looks with an aim point on it is a moot point, but you can do it. And again, obviously the gun functions perfectly without the carry handle, it's just slightly harder to use. So, Magpul have managed to replicate for the Airsoft market, almost identically, a very interesting concept. I hated it when it came out. We had prototypes from KWA and I couldn't see the point. I just couldn't see anywhere that that fitted in with any kind of airsoft loadout. I would be lying if I said it hadn't convinced me otherwise. And the reason for my change of heart as far as this is concerned, I think ultimately is just because it's enormously good fun. It's a very competent performer, as you would expect from something which is essentially got KWA inside it. Range, under ideal conditions, you should be able to be chucking 2s or 2.5s up to 50 metres. So as a compact submachine gun, this thing is certainly a force to be reckoned with. But it's what it does, it's what's in the name, it's that which ultimately makes it as much fun as it is. Every airsofter should have one.